welcome back to another live Antwood Movie Mania. And we are live because it is interview time with my special guest today. From acting on stage to producing features such as Iowa and The Orphan Killer to making a directorial debut with Easter Bloody Easter, I would like to welcome to the channel Diane Foster.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, before we get started, like I just said there before we came on, thank you so much for coming on. It means a lot to me that like people like yourself, because I'm only a small YouTube channel, so thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to coming on. So thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. And there are no such things as small YouTube channels. You're doing your thing, and I think that's awesome. So keep doing it. I'm happy to be here.
Me too. Right, so my first question of the day is, how's your morning going?
It's going pretty good. I had watched the Oscars yesterday, and that was really awesome. As an indie filmmaker, it's really nice to see, when especially women are winning. I really love that. And just to see all the different talent that's out there, it's really inspiring and impressive. And I hope someday that I can be in that audience doing my thing. So it's a great day. It's really inspiring, like I said, as a filmmaker, to watch other people doing their thing and garnering awards and just a bigger audience and all of that. And I think at the end of the day, filmmaking is an exhibition art, and you want to see have people see your film. So they're obviously doing a good job of that. So. Yeah.
Yeah, I never watched the Oscars because like it's on at ridiculous times over in the UK. And they have like about 200 advert breaks.
That's so true. That's so true. I feel like it used to be a bigger thing, but now they're moving to YouTube actually in the coming years. So I think that's also a testament to how the industry is changing at large. It's just like everything is going to YouTube, and the world population is watching everything. So I think we're going to see more and more of that, which is really exciting, especially as an independent filmmaker.
Yeah, it was actually, I've seen like all the uploads today of like horror sweeping like a few of the awards with Sinners.
Yeah.
Have you watched that?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, I'm a massive vampire. Like I love vampire films, and that just like it was good to see like a mix of like country west, like
Yes, like horror,
vampire.
Western, yeah,
Yeah.
that whole thing going. Yeah. I thought it was amazingly well done. I actually wish they would have won more awards because I thought it was such a well done film. I did like the other nominees, but I thought it was really cool for horror to be up where it is now. I feel like that's been sort of the ongoing trend now over the years, is like it's finally getting to be seen where typically it wasn't in the past. So that's exciting. It means that, more and more audiences are excited about seeing it. And I feel like the numbers show that even when you see horror films in the theaters and stuff. It's like horror fans are truly the best. They really are. And they will go hard for a movie, especially if they love it. So yeah, let's have more of that, shall we?
Definitely. Right, so before we get into the movies and everything, take us back a little bit. Growing up, you did a lot of stage work, like in school and stuff. Like, what drew you to being on stage?
Oh yeah, I did a lot of theater growing up. Well, I grew up in New Jersey, which is right outside of New York City. So I had the ability to have New York City as my backyard, basically, which is incredible, especially when you're, a young person and you're singing and dancing and acting. And I had always done that. My family is extremely supportive. They have been from the very beginning. They always believed that, you should go for what you believe in, and there's no dream too big. And I think that really, was important for me from a very early age to have the support of my family. So big shout out to them. I don't know if any of them are watching, but I really appreciated that, because you do need a strong foundation, and I think you can go really far in life if you do have people behind you. So I was I was blessed with having that very early on. Grew up in a big family. I am the youngest of 6 children, so I always say that I was always singing for my supper. I was always like, "Hey, I'm here, me, me," and they all dealt with me pretty much. But theater and stuff was very much a thing that I wanted to do very early on. I started dancing very young. So being in a dance studio, learning how to do tap, ballet, jazz, all of that. And that really transcended over into doing theater. And luckily, because of where I grew up, there's so many regional theaters in the area. And pretty much like every weekend, all year long, I was always in a show. Like there was never a time that during my childhood and even my high school years that you wouldn't find me in a show. So I was constantly in rehearsals and then putting a show on. So it was just a very natural progression for me. And then when I was in high school, I really got very serious about it. And I was like, I really think I want to make this my career. And I was very lucky my senior year in high school. I played Princess Winifred in the show Once Upon a Mattress at my high school. And they had this thing called the Rising Star Awards through the Paper Mill Playhouse. And it's the largest regional theater in New Jersey, and it's sort of like the Tonys for high schools. And I won Best Actress that year. So at 18 years old, it was like, oh my gosh, the whole world had opened up. And I was like, I really think that I could actually do this in the world. This isn't just a dream. I think I could actually make a living doing this. So from that point forward, I really was hustling. I was auditioning all the time. I was, in shows doing that all in New York City. And then around 21 years of age, I decided that I wanted to move to Los Angeles. And I didn't know a single solitary person in Los Angeles. So that was probably a pretty crazy idea at 21 years old to say, "Hi, mom and dad, I'm moving to LA." But they again supported me. And I think sometimes you just jump, and that's the thing you do, and that's what I did. And I came here not knowing anyone, and now, my goodness, 24 some odd years later, I'm here still making movies, and getting out there and hustling my way around. So I say all that to say that it's been a lifetime of wanting to do this. I didn't wake up yesterday and decide I'm going to do this. It's been ongoing since I've been a little kid, and I feel very grateful that I've continued to stay with it. And I think you would say most success stories you hear is it's just people who didn't give up. So I think I'm just somebody who just doesn't give up.
Accepting, like, just going back a sec there, accepting like that award that you mentioned, was that your light bulb moment that you knew that you wanted to do it for life?
Yeah, it was really important because that award in particular was such a big deal because it was like the Tonys of all high schools in New Jersey. I mean, such a tremendous honor to have, to even be nominated for it. And I had done some conservatory workshops with Paper Mill Playhouse over the years since I was a child. So I was learning from the best of New York City. They were coming into New Jersey and teaching us, acting, singing, and dancing from a very early age. I would say like 11 years old, I was doing conservatory stuff. And I actually went to conservatory with Anne Hathaway, which was really
Really?
exciting. Yeah, we grew up together doing that. And then my senior year that I won for Princess Winifred, she was in her junior year at another high school. She was also playing Princess Winifred in Once Upon a Mattress, and I beat her. So I always tell that story because, of course, she's gone on to win an Oscar. But I started it off with the Rising Star Award. So
Ooh, eat that, Anne Hathaway.
that's right. That's right. But no, obviously she's done tremendous. And I think for me it was just a springboard moment. It was the understanding of there's all these amazing professionals in this world, and they're viewing me as the best actress in the state of New Jersey. What could be better in terms of giving you like yep, you can go do this, kid. That was sort of what it was for me. It was just that that idea that, okay, you could actually make this a living and not just something that you dream of doing and that you're inspired by other artists. This is
Mm.
something that you can actually go out and yourself hopefully inspire others and change the world for the better, by doing your art. So yes, that was a singular moment for me at that age, especially, 18. The world is in front of you, and you're just excited about living life, and you think you know everything, and um you know I just think I was like, okay, I can do this. So it was a really special moment for me. I'm very grateful for that moment because it gave me the opportunity, and also the foot right into the world of stepping into it and going like, you can do this. And I felt like that from that point forward, I sort of had this confidence in me that was like, I'm going to do this no matter what.
That's a good answer.
Thank you. Check mark.
Just what you were saying there about being confident. I can't imagine, but being on stage, obviously, compared to being in films, it's live and it's happening like there and then. Obviously, with films, you can do retakes and everything like that. But did you ever mess up on stage, like, and have to like pivot to?
Oh my God. Yes. So many times. I mean, over the years, there's been, countless projects that I've done where I've forgotten full lines of dialogue. I've forgotten moments in a song. I've forgotten a entire dance. Um, and those are moments that don't happen very often, thank goodness. But when they do, it is scary in the moment, and you think, oh gosh, I'm done for. This is it. I'll never be hired again. Um, and you realize that in those moments, I love what you said, you have to pivot. And I think that's true not only in a project that you're doing, but in life. I think that life and projects, whatever it is, throws things at you sometimes. And you have to be willing to adjust and pivot and not allow that to keep you stuck, or to allow you to not keep going. So I think that you just have to learn how to essentially go with the flow. And I think very early on, because I was a child performer, I learned how to do that very early on, that sometimes things happen and the show must go on. There's one thing that a teacher told me once that I really loved. And he said, that if a bagel rolls out onto the stage, you have to play the bagel. You have to tell the audience that it's there, and you have to allow it to inform the rest of everything that's going on. And I think that's really fun. Don't ignore it, just accept it and then move on. And I saw that one time, I think it was Adele was singing at the Grammys or something, and she really messed up like big time. And she's like, you know, oh fuck, or whatever. I don't know if I can curse on this, but anyway, she's like, oh whatever. And then she's like, all right, let me start again. And she did, and that's obviously like at the top of the top, someone who's so amazingly talented. And it happens. We're human and we're artists. And sometimes that kind of stuff just goes on, but you have to be willing to look at yourself and laugh at yourself too, and not take it so seriously, because there's so much in life that we certainly could take seriously, and we have to go with it, and not give ourselves too much trouble.
Yeah, I completely agree. Right, so moving on to films, did you incorporate what you learned on stage, like moving on to the film industry, like being in films? Did you move that like what you'd learned on stage into the movies?
Yeah, I think that very early on, because I was in such professional productions, I was doing shows with legends like Donna McKechnie and Ann Miller and all of these like old Hollywood movie stars and stuff. I was doing theatrical productions with them. So from a very early age, it gave me a sense of professionalism. And because I grew up on the East Coast, it's very funny when you move to LA, it's like I was like always on time for everything. And in New York City, if you're on time, you're late. But in Los Angeles, if you're on time, people are kind of like, "Why are you here so early?" And it was an adjustment because in LA things are much more relaxed and a little bit laid back, whereas on New York you're on the New York minute.
Mm.
And people's got no time for that. And that's how I grew up. That's the kind of professionalism that I was so used to. So I had to kind of learn my way getting into film and having kind of a whole new culture of a whole new city that I wasn't used to. But I will say that that professionalism, me being having that kind of training, is amazing. And like I highly recommend anyone who's going to get into this business, like make sure that you're constantly training, even if you're working, like still train and still do that because your artistry is a muscle and you have to keep working it out. And I think it just gave me a leg up in a way that I really had a very deep respect for creating. And I don't like to waste other creators' time. So that was all kinds of stuff that I learned going into it very early. But my first film was Iowa, and I was 24 years old. I didn't know a thing about movie making. And I produced that film and starred in it. And it really truly was just kind of stepping into it. And I think part of it is you got to get out there and experience it. And that's how you learn. You're going to fall on your face a bunch, but you just get better and better the more that you do it.
So just going on to that for a sec there, you just briefly rest that, but how did you get started in like the movie business? Like, who reached out to you, or did you reach out to whoever? Did you have to go to audition for Iowa, or?
Yeah, so let me take you back a little bit. So I moved to Los Angeles, my goodness gracious, how many years ago? Like the year 2000, something like that. Which is crazy. Holy moly. Wow, I've been here a long time. Um I moved here. I didn't know a single solitary soul. But because I was a professional dancer in New York City, I was looking to get those kinds of jobs right away. And I started in a dance class. I was like, well, I'm going to, as I was saying, continue to train, even though I'm like trying to figure things out. And I walked into this dance class in Hollywood, and Robin Anton, who was the creator of the Pussycat Dolls, was there. And she said to me, "Where are you from? You're an amazing dancer. I've never seen you here before." I said, "I literally just moved here from New York City." She said, "Well, I have this show called the Pussycat Dolls, and I would love to have you in it." And I said, "Cool, sounds great." I mean, I needed to pay my rent. So I was like, "Let's go. This is awesome." I was in LA for 2 weeks when I got that job. So
Oh,
prior to it being a girl group, it was a show at the Roxy. And it was like a dance show, a singing and dance show. And we were like 12 original Pussycat dolls where we all danced in these cute, like sexy outfits. And we had Christina Aguilera in it, Gwen Stefani, Carmen Electra. I
no.
mean, like the craziest thing. This was my first job in LA. And I was like, wow, I don't know how this happened, but I'm here. um, and that ran for a few weeks and it was an amazing experience. And then not long after that, I was auditioning all the time for independent film. I was just like submitting myself. Back then you would have to like actually send your headshot like in an envelope to the casting director, in the mail. Um, that was like a whole nother time period. So I was doing that consistently. And then I had met my partner at the time, and he was writing a movie called Iowa. And I said, "I think that we should do this because it's really important." It was about methamphetamine in the Midwest. And the story was so good. And he and I started going to Iowa. His family was from there. So we started going there and documenting what was going on. And all of those stories basically became what Iowa was. So I actually got into it by basically placing myself and saying, "I think we should do this." So literally just opening the door for myself and saying, "Well, I mean, let's just us make the movie." I think part of that was me being a 21-year-old, thinking I could do anything in the world, which is great. That naivete sometimes is the thing that you do need. That chutzpah, I guess, is what they also say, is to have that that bravado of going like, we could do this. And that's really how it happened, is that we decided, okay, we're going to make this movie. We raised the funding to do it. We got a casting director. We had Rosanna Arquette in the film. We had John Savage, who plays my dad, who was in The Deer Hunter. He was in the movie Hair. I mean, the guy's a legend. So it was really just about taking a risk. It was taking a big risk and saying, like, I think we should do this. And that is literally how I got into movie making. And I really didn't know anything about it other than I loved it. So I love movie making so much. And I just love the idea of making movies that I pushed myself to learn how to do it. And that's actually how it happened. And Iowa went on to be an official selection at the Tribeca Film Festival that year. At the time I was 24 years old, and that was huge. That was a huge thing to have my first film that I produced and starred in, be an official selection at Tribeca. Like, again, it was just like another sort of nod from the universe saying to me, like, you can do this, and this is right for you. So I've just always been open to listening to that, and never allowing my doubts to hold me back ever.
Oh.
Did I answer that good? Check.
Very good. Very good. So, have you always been a fan of horror?
Yeah, the funny thing is that I think a lot of people think because I've made so much horror that I just sit all day long and watch horror movies, which is not true. It is not true. I love horror and I'm a fan of the genre, but I would say that I'm a fan of many genres. It's not just horror. I'm not somebody who's like, I'll only, watch horror films. I think when I was much younger, that I actually was more of a fan, interestingly enough. I sort of like loved the old slashers like Jason, Freddy. Obviously, Freddy was my favorite. I think because it was such a storytelling type of film, and I loved that so much, with such a menacing character. And obviously, Robert Englund is legend. So I love those types of films. And slashers were always my favorite. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I've become more of a scaredy cat, which is so funny. Like, I feel like I had so much more, like, I'll watch it when I was younger, and now I'm like under the pillow, like, ah. So yeah, and I also have always loved Italian horror. I loved Dario Argento. I loved seeing European cinema just in general. That was something I think that I also loved when I was growing up in, New Jersey and New York City, going to the Angelica Film Center, which is an independent theater. Seeing a lot of independent film was something that was, a constant in my life, from the time that I was, preteens. I had older sisters, so I had the ability to go into the city and go see these movies with them. And I'm very appreciative of that, because it gave me a real deep understanding of cinema and all kinds of different genres of film that I really do love. I wouldn't say that I am on like a snob of any genre. I love movies. And yeah, I think the first stuff with horror was really the slashers. And I feel like that's like sort of like my age group too, because I was born in 1980, so I'm like an 80s kid but like a 90s teenager. So that's like, those are the movies I was watching, and that was what was so popular then. And I just don't think that's ever gone away for me. And I feel like those are the things that filmmakers nowadays are always trying to recreate, is like those type of movies and the feelings that you got from those movies. And I just love it. I love it so much. I think it was such a great time for horror, actually.
Yeah, for me, because like I was born in '87,
Hmm.
so we're not that far apart. Not that far
Yeah.
apart. But for me, like for my personal reference preference, I'm from like mid '70s to early 2000s, like like
Yeah.
horror wise, like that is my slot.
Yeah. Those
Like,
movies are all amazing during that time period. I could agree with you totally.
yeah. So
Mhm.
like Fright Night Part Two,
Yep.
American Werewolf in London,
Oh, yes.
Jack Nicholson's. Have you ever seen Jack Nicholson's Wolf?
No, I've never seen that. Okay,
Right.
I gotta watch it.
Right. The pen's going down. Right. This is a well. Right. It came out in '94. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of the film because
Okay.
everyone who says that they haven't seen it, I get very angry. Right. So it came out. The cast in it. Right. It's a werewolf film. It came out in 1994. You've got Jack
Okay.
Nicholson, Michelle
Amazing.
Pfeiffer, James Spader, like all like a top
What?
stellar cast. Right. So Jack Nicholson plays a New York writer. Like he works in a publishing house, and he gets bitten by a wolf, and then he bites James Spader, and they have like a big confrontation at the end, like as werewolves. So
Wow.
the best way I can describe it is it's a modern day The Wolfman.
Okay, that's
So
super
it's
cool.
like I always tell everyone, it's a slow burner. Like if you're expecting like loads of action paced, everything like that, forget it. It's a
Yeah.
slow burner from start all the way to the end, but the ending is the big payoff. That is
Okay.
what the payoff is. It's like a slow, so like all the way through the film, he's like slowly transitioning. He doesn't fully turn into the werewolf, but you've got modern day New York, and he like kills like a bunch of muggers, and like
It sounds
it's
amazing. I will check it out for sure. I've never heard of it, and that's crazy with that cast that I've never heard of it.
yeah,
But sometimes movies like that can go under the radar, and there's so many movies that are made sometimes that are great and gems, and for whatever reason, it doesn't hit the mainstream market, or maybe the marketing was weird and they didn't know really how to get it out, or somebody
yeah,
shelved it, or who knows. There's so many reasons why things don't get out into the world, but sounds awesome. And I
yeah.
love werewolf movies, and I also love vampire movies too. So, um yeah. I like those movies more than, like, I don't like possession movies or like ghost movies. That kind
Nah,
of stuff freaks me out. And I'm like, I don't want to watch it. I would rather people being gouged in the eyes with forks. Seriously. Like I prefer that over the
physical
ghost
horror.
stuff. Yes. I really do, because like the gory stuff doesn't bother me as much. If anything, I'm always like, ah, but I'm also like, oh, that was really cool. Whereas the ghost stuff, like, I won't sleep for weeks, and I can't have that. So anything possession, things like that, you will not find me watching that. I'm just like, no. And if I do, like, it's all the lights are on, I'm in a room full of a lot of people. I am a
Yeah.
scaredy cat with that
Like
kind of stuff.
like you were saying there about like loving vampire films, like everyone like regards Fright Night as like such a high tier vampire film. But
Yeah.
then you go, oh, have you seen Fright Night Part 2? And they're like, what? Eh?
Yeah.
I'm
Totally.
like, another, like,
Yeah.
that's, for me, like, a lot of people hate Fright Night Part 2, but for me, I love that film so much because like, if you just watch it all as one thing,
Yeah.
it's
I
such a
feel
good
like that way
sequel.
about a lot of sequels, though. A lot of times horror fans get kind of angry at the sequel, or they kind of are a little bit like, oh, and that's unfortunate, because I think sometimes it's like there's a reason why filmmakers make it that way. And
Mm,
I don't know. I always find myself, like, I try to look at films from a much more objective place, and a much more like positive place of like, oh, this is so amazing that they made it. Even if I don't like it, I'm
yeah,
always like, I find it fascinating that they were able to pull this off or do this. And I feel like that's a much better way to be, just from a positive point of view anyway. We need more of that in the world, you
I
know.
know. I mean, the story behind Fright Night Part 2 with the Menendez brothers, that's completely different,
Yes.
different matter altogether.
Totally different genre.
We'll keep it nice. We won't go down that path. We won't.
Yes. Yes. Sounds good.
Um, right. So tell us about the Orphan Killer. Like, how did that come about? Because you starred and again produced it.
Yeah. So Iowa had gone to Tribeca Film Festival and we did really well there. It was amazing. Robert De Niro obviously runs that festival and, getting to be there that night. And he was like saying, he's like, and we have the movie Iowa and he's like talking about our film. And I was like, holy shit, like it's Robert De Niro talking about our movie. And it did really well. It was a very timely film at that time. It was prior to Breaking Bad. It was during a time prior to a movie called Spun that came out about crystal methamphetamine. Our movie was really about crystal methamphetamine and the love story behind it and sort of what they go through throughout. So it was, in my opinion, very well done. So it did well. And at the festival, we had met lots of different producers, and two in particular were the Cuban brothers, Mark Cuban and Jeff Cuban, who at the time they owned the Landmark Theaters. And they said to us, you guys should make horror films because the way that you kind of story tell would be really great in that genre. And Iowa obviously was a like drug love story. So we had a lot of like graphic violence and things like that. So I'm sure that's why they were kind of like, you guys would do well in the horror genre because clearly you're not afraid of the violence. So at the time, my partner had been writing a script. And back in the day, I don't even know if horror fans of The Orphan Killer know this, but originally it was called Silverface. Prior to it ever being the second iteration, which was called Sibling, and then it became The Orphan Killer. And we actually had filmed a lot of the movie prior to getting into it making be The Orphan Killer. But anyway, I digress. How that happened was we again took the risk. He wrote the script, had it ready to go, and we went and we filmed. We filmed a lot. And at that time, it was called Sibling. And it didn't really quite work out once we got back into the edit room. We were like, we really hate this. And we need to actually figure out what we're going to do because this is not any good. And we don't want anyone to ever see this. So we got our heads together, rewrote a bunch of stuff, really made it more of what we were going for, which is a slasher and, what we both loved growing up and watching. And very gory, slasher. So went back to the drawing board, got that, and then we made the film again with a very small crew. I want to say there was like 10 of us, and then myself playing Audrey Miller and David Backus playing the orphan killer Marcus. And it was probably one of the most exciting things that I had ever done up until that point from an acting perspective.
Mm.
My role as Audrey Miller, of course I produced the film as well, but that role was so big for me because she goes through so much in the movie that for me it was sort of like a coming out story of like, oh my God, I'm becoming me. I'm becoming Diane Foster. And I think that was so important to me, especially at that time period in my life. It was something I really needed to kind of go through and live through. And she made me so much stronger as a person. And that was really amazing. And the way that we put that film out was really unheard of at the time, and why I think it did so well and it became an underground cult classic. Facebook had just come out, and we thought it would be really cool to start talking to the fans of the film, which we didn't have any at the time. We just were like, well, we're going to put this stuff out and hopefully people will start talking to us. And we made an account as Marcus Miller, the orphan killer. And we started posting images from the film. And we had this maniac talking to the audience. Like, he's like, basically, like, I'm going to cut you up and I'm going to do all these crazy things. And people were like, hell yeah, we want more of that. And they started to become obsessed with Marcus Miller, the orphan killer. And 5,000 fans grew to 11,000 fans, grew to 50,000 fans, grew to 100 to 400 to 500,000 fans. Like within months, this was going on. So we said, well, we really have something here, and this is amazing. And we did go down several routes of actual distribution. We met with the president of Lionsgate. They wanted to put the film out, which would have been amazing. But unfortunately, the team decided against that, and they wanted to do it They wanted to do it independently. Lionsgate wanted to put it out at that time on DVD. And that was still like very much a thing at that time period. You know, that was like one of the routes you go. You would either
Yeah.
go theatrical or you would go to DVD. We didn't have streaming back then. So I was like, I think this is a great idea because Lionsgate now is going to be behind our film. And now we have this big company. But overall, again, the team, you know, it didn't work out. So we ended up doing it independently, for better or for worse. And the fact is it landed where it's supposed to land. You know, sometimes you think it's supposed to go in this direction and it goes in another direction for another reason. We made DVDs and Steelbook Blu-rays that we signed, and we started selling them. We put the movie online, which was not a good idea because it got illegally downloaded and then torrents everywhere. Over 4 million times it was torrented. So that sucked because obviously it was not what you want as a filmmaker. You know, you want people to see your movie, but you also do want them to pay for it. So that was not good. But what it did do was it did allow a lot of horror fans to learn who we were. It made a lot of horror fans love the film, have a lot of respect for us as indie filmmakers putting out this film into the world with literally no studio backing whatsoever. And it really did create a fan base for all of us that were a part of that film. And the majority of like my Facebook followers till to this day, the reason, and my Instagram, everyone, shout out to all of you because I love you so much. The reason they know me, most of them, is because of The Orphan Killer. And it was because that was that marriage of that time of Facebook becoming a bigger thing and independent film coming together and like us putting it out, just like people nowadays are doing, you know, constantly on every different platform. We were doing that, but it was more of a cutting edge thing at the time. We just didn't know what it would end up being. So the film went out that way, and it ended up being banned in Germany and Australia, which is so crazy to have a film banned in Germany of all places. And all that it did was make it even more popular. People wanted to then see it, and they were like, well, what's this banned movie? Why is it banned? So there's many reasons why it was banned. One of them was glorification of violence is what they told us. So, you know, all in all, it ended up working out because we got to go across the US and actually over to Europe as well. We went to San Sebastian Horror Film Festival there. We went to Torino Horror Film Festival. We met so many amazing horror fans. I've been to so many different of the conventions, Texas Frightmare. I've been to Days of the Dead. You know, lots and lots of conventions across the US and the world, and got to meet horror fans who literally just saw me in The Orphan Killer and they were like, we love this movie, and you know, and we want to know you. And I just I just love meeting them because it's been amazing meeting horror fans. They truly are some of the best in the whole wide world. And they've gone hard for me from the very beginning. So I'm grateful to them. And you know, they were there first, so I'll never forget that.
I'll tell you this. We were just discussing about werewolves and vampires and everything. There was a how do you say it? There was like a film festival in my town last year, and they had this thing called the 48-hour challenge. So what they do is on the website they were called Fear Screen, and they'd send you like you have 48 hours to film like a short film. Like it had to be like 5 and 8 minutes long or something like that. And
Yeah.
they give you like a set of lists of challenges. But obviously when I went, like all these people had already filmed it and then they put them on the big screen. And I was like, oh, it's like the film festival they had to give me like a free press pass to go in, even though like I'm, you know, just me. So I got to watch like 2 feature films and like all these like little shorts for nothing. And then like I interviewed everyone and everything like that.
That's
So
cool.
I made like a full day of it. But last last month they set out another challenge, like another
Oh,
48-hour challenge. So I was like, I said, you know what? I'm gonna throw my name in the ring. I said I'm gonna give it a go. So the list was that you had to that would be like a monster and a transformation, and they said like a bonus tip, it has to be like American Werewolf inspired. So I was like, right. So I said, considering I had nothing in my head, and then it just came to me. So like on my field, there's an abandoned house,
Oh,
like a proper rundown, burnt out house with like all the bricks missed, like loads of missed. And so obviously I'm going up against teams of 10 to 20 people in a team. Because like when you like see all the behind the scenes, there's like loads of people with camera crews, and I'm like, it's just me with my phone.
heck
so,
yeah. Look at
so,
that.
so you know what I thought? There's no way like I'm going to place like first or third or anything. So I was like, I
Why
said, you know what?
not?
I'll give it a shot. So I filmed it all in like a dark blue and black and white and everything. And then there's me like just walking on my field, and then all you hear is a big growl from the bushes, because I put like a big like a low werewolf growl like right the way through it. I looked through like the werewolf's perspective, like down on the ground. I was like out on the floor, so it's like all in black and white, and I had like the growl on top of
Cool. Yeah.
it. So pretty much like it's just me running through like all these trees and into the abandoned house. Then you've got the werewolf like following me behind, and then like it attacks me, and then like it attacks. And then I go, oh my god, it's a full moon. And then like it shots to like yellow eyes, and then a full moon, and it's only on for about 4 minutes.
Send it to me. I want to watch it. That's so awesome.
I'll send it to you. That you can tell me how bad my acting is. So,
Oh no. Look, good for you. I mean, come on, that's tremendous. You should give yourself a
but
lot of credit,
to be fair though, the out of like all the people that they sent all the entries, they played 6 of them, and one of them was mine. They graded it 2.5 stars out of 5. So
Let's go. Come on, look. You couldn't have even made it in. You could have gotten 0 out of 5. You know what I mean? That's the
yeah,
thing. It's like that's a win. And I think the win is that you had confidence enough to go and do it. And that's awesome. That's all you need sometimes is to just
yeah.
get you started doing that. So congratulations to you.
Yeah, if I had
It's
someone else
wonderful.
like doing the camera movements, then maybe it might have looked a bit more slicker. But because the camera's like stood still when I'm on the screen, you can tell like it just.
Well, you got to learn somehow. So
But yeah, I'll send you it over. I'll definitely send you it.
I want to watch it. I'm watching that, and then I'm going to watch The Wolf from 1994.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of that so you know what you're looking for. But you can
Okay.
pretty much just type in Jack Nicholson Wolf, and then it'll come up.
Okay.
Right. I've lost where I'm at.
That's all right.
Right, all right. Okay, right. So from starring and producing, you went on to directing with the film Easter, Bloody Easter.
Yes.
Now, when you think of Easter, you think of nice bunnies, chocolate, everything. Well, you guys completely went the other direction with this.
Yes. We absolutely did.
It went very dark with killer bunnies. So who came up with the idea?
So I have 2 very best friends, Allison Lobel and Kelly Grant. I went to acting school with both of them, and we did a play together several years ago. And we had these characters in the play that we really loved. And right around COVID time, we were thinking about doing this as a play. We were thinking about taking the play that we had done together and taking it to New York and then to Texas and a bunch of different places. And then COVID hit. And that kind of, basically screwed up our plans to do that. And at that time, I said to Allison and Kelly, well, maybe we should be concentrating on making a film instead, because I think that's something that we actually could do, even though it's COVID time and nobody kind of knew what was going to happen. And Allison decided to start writing. She had this idea. She was literally at home one night. She heard this scurrying on the top of her roof, and it was around, I guess, Easter time. And she came up with this idea. She was like, oh my God, what if bunnies were actually like really demonic and they started killing people? And she called us up and said, okay, so I came up with this idea. I don't know if it's crazy or what, but I want to read it to you. So Kelly, Allison, and I got together at Allison's house. We read the script. We were on the floor dying laughing. We were like, oh my God, this is so funny. It's so awesome. We have to make this. Like, let's do it. And I feel like that's kind of an ongoing theme. I feel like I've always just been like, let's do it. Like, let's go, like we ride at dawn. There's no time to waste, just do it. And we started putting it together. The script went through a bunch of different rewrites and whatnot, because when Allison first wrote it, it had a lot of a lot of production and stuff in it that we would not be able to afford. We're an independent film. We were raising financing to do this movie. And at one point there was like a airplane had come down and bunnies were coming out of it. And I was like, no, we don't have millions of dollars to do this. We gotta simplify. We gotta simplify. So she went back to the drawing board, of course. And we had a great team of people and producers and whatnot. And Allison is such a fun, quirky, extremely talented person. I mean, her mind is just brilliant, and got us to the point where the script was, the shooting script that we ended up, obviously shooting. And she just thought it would be the most hysterical thing that we took this idea of Easter that's supposed to be essentially wholesome, mainly religious-ish, depending on, your background, and kind of just decided to like pour blood on everyone. And we just thought we just got a kick out of that. So we really went into it hard. And the movie, as the movie really knows what it is. It is not trying to be something it is not. It knows what it is. It's like, it is a bastard child of Monty Python. It loves that. So, it's something that we really enjoyed making. It is horror, but it is also comedy. And I think, if you love those two genres, then you'll really love the film. But that's really how it came to be. It was just something that, we all wanted to do together. And Allison was really the one that said, you have to direct this. And I give her full credit for, basically handing me the baton and saying, you have to do this. I know that if there's anybody that can do this, it's going to be you. And still to this day, that means so much to me. I have so much gratitude to her and to Kelly both, because, they both believed in me that I could do this. And, they're both in the film with me. Allison plays Mary Lou and Kelly plays Carol. So for us, it was really about best friends making a film together. And, we just had such a great time. And, she's like, and how about we have a giant jackalope? And we were just like, yeah, let's do that. So much fun.
Like, how hard was it? Because is this your first directional film? Like directing, like how hard was it? Like directing it? Like, what was it like?
Oh my gosh, it was extremely hard because I was the producer, I was the star of the film, and I was directing it. So, and there's a little dance in it which I choreographed. So I had a lot of hats on to do this film. It was extremely difficult. I had to hire a team around me that knew what they were doing and that I could lean on and have support of. I had an amazing cinematographer, Alexa Cha. She has gone on now to do incredible things at Universal. She's working with tons of music people doing their music videos all the time. And she's extremely talented. And I really leaned on her support because I was in front of the camera and behind the camera. I couldn't stop every take and look at it and go, are we good? I needed to look at the framing, know that we were good, get in front of the camera and yell action, so that was a very interesting way to do my first directing feature. I wouldn't say it's for everybody. I really wouldn't, because it was a lot to maintain. I think that my personality lends itself to that. I'm very much a go-getter. And so I think that I was able to do that, but it's not for everybody. It was not easy at all, to say the least. But we did it. We had rehearsals prior to shooting, which I highly recommend. Every film now that I've done since that point, it's like we're in rehearsals for weeks ahead of time prior to ever stepping foot on set. You should get on set when you're literally ready to shoot it, not when you're trying to figure things out. You know, you want all of that to be in rehearsal. You want all of that to be done ahead of time. And then once you get on set, then you just get to create the magic. So it was very difficult. It really was. But I do think if you're somebody who wants to do that, who wants to produce and act and direct and all of that, I say go for it. Don't allow the idea that, oh God, that's so many hats, or will I be able to do that? Don't allow that to stop you from doing it. If you truly believe that this is meant for you to do, and there's nobody else that can tell that story the way that you're going to, then you should do it. And I do feel that way about that film, and you know that's how it came to be. So.
Yeah. How long did it take to make, like shooting wise?
Shooting wise, we shot for, I want to say like 18 or 19 days, nothing crazy, maybe 20-ish days. Not a long time at all. I mean, you know, again, we had a very small budget, you know, nothing like the majority of most, you know, Hollywood movies, certainly. We're definitely, you know, in the indie film world. So, you know, it was just we needed to make sure we got done because time is money, you know. So the more days that we added on, the more money that it would be. So
Mm.
we just made sure that we really needed to get everything. And again, all of that came through during pre-production. We really made sure that we scheduled everything out so we knew we were going to have to get stuff. And I want to say, I don't even know if we had any pickup days. Goodness gracious, now it feels like so forever ago because we started everything, writing everything in 2021, and then we were shooting in 2022, and then the film came out in 2024. So yeah, it was a long time. It was a long time of a lot of hard work from inception of the idea to us
Mm.
actually getting it out to audiences. Many years. Yeah.
All right. Um, to me, like it looked the way that you'd shot it. I don't know if you were going this way, but to me, it looked like a very gritty style, like the
Mm-hmm.
way that it was you were moving the camera about. Was that the intention?
Yeah, it's funny because anyone who works with me knows this. I am somebody who loves movement in the camera, and it doesn't have to be like, you know, constantly moving, but I
Mm.
always love that little feeling like the camera itself is a character and that we're kind of living in the world with the camera. And I tend to do that on the majority of my projects. You can ask all of my cinematographers. Um, and they'll tell you she does not like still camera. um, I think that I use still camera when it's very specific and for a very specific reason. Otherwise, I feel like the camera should be moving. So it's just a little quirk that I have, you know, whether it's right or wrong or anything like that, I don't know. I'm somebody who learned about filmmaking by doing it and experiencing it. I did not go to
Mm.
film school. I did not know anything technical about film. I just believed in my heart that I had stories to tell, and I learned literally by doing it. You know, showing up and doing it over and over and over again. So I don't like to prescribe to the idea that filmmaking has to be one way or another. I don't agree with that. I think that there's a certain culture certainly to filmmaking, and I think that that has to be understood of how a set runs and how things that have to be done so that you can actually get your film made and done. But I think the way that you get there, the possibilities are endless. And I think that's the fun part about, you know, being a filmmaker, is that each project is finding something unique. So for Easter Bloody Easter, I really felt that I wanted the audience to feel that they were kind of going on this ride with us, which is why the cinematography is that way. And again, I had an amazing cinematographer in Alexa. She's really, really talented, and I know she's going to do just so much. So.
Mm. Just quickly going off track there. Like I get what I said there about me doing the werewolf thing.
Yeah.
I actually take that back because I actually filmed another piece. But it was the way I wanted to film it. It wasn't like it was horror related, but it was more of a like, do you know, like an episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
Like, so it was called Unsolved Cases.
Okay.
So the house that I said that I run into, I go on a walk every morning, like on my field, and every time I go past, I see that house. But then there's a tree directly across from it with like four. I don't know. What was it? Yeah, there's four, like, do you know, like swing ropes, like
Oh
tarzan
yeah.
rope, with the
Yeah.
tire, like a swing rope, but
Yeah,
without the
sounds fun.
tires. So there's like,
Yeah.
so it's like it's this massive, like old oak tree with like four ropes hanging from it. So every time I've like walked down, like the idea just popped into my head. So then I just decided to film it. Like I filmed with me narrating into the camera, that there was a family of five living there, and there was a mother, three daughters, and a son, but he kept to himself. And
Mm.
for hours on end, he would just stare at that tree. And and I was like, oh, people say to hear the voices telling them to kill them all and everything. So and then one day it just snap, and he'd take like each one of that tree and hang them. And then
Wow.
and then he'd go back to the house and and set it up in flames with him inside it. So that's why the house looks so
So yeah.
abandoned.
Yeah.
But I'll send you that one as well because it's only on for about 4 minutes. So I'll send you that one
Yeah,
too.
send it
Like,
to me. I would love it. These are things that can be, these are things that if you're like, oh, I really want to continue to tell this story, that you could make into a whole screenplay, you know? Or maybe you just keep making videos like that and you release them, on YouTube. You never know. Like that's the thing. There's an audience for everything. I think you
mm,
just have to be willing to take the risk and put yourself out there. And if you keep doing that long enough, people will come. If
do you know
if
what?
you build it, they will come, right?
Do you know what the weird thing was, right? When I made this video, I was looking for, like, as disturbing as it sounds, I was looking for people hung. I didn't want to like thing it. But the tree that was there, I found a picture where it looked like a pretty similar looking tree with
Mm,
four people hanging from it, and the bush outline behind it fits the
mm.
exact outline of the bush behind that tree.
Wow.
So
That's
like when I showed
wild.
the tree and then I overlapped the picture, it's like pretty much the same outline as the background.
Whoa.
So I was
That's
like,
interesting.
so when I send you the picture, look for the bush outline because it's exactly the
Okay.
same.
Okay.
So I was like, I know that's what. So I was like, oh god, I hope that's not the reason why this house burned down.
Seriously. Wow. Life
So,
imitating art. Yikes.
I know, yeah. um, so with Easter Bloody Easter, can you buy this physically, like on DVD and Blu-ray?
Yes, yes, yes. And I would love for people to do that because having the physical media is awesome. I think it's the one thing that like we're going to continue to see a growth in over the years is physical media because I think it's something that people can, have forever. It's a collector's item. You
Mm.
can buy the DVD, you can buy the Blu-ray on Amazon. If you go to my the link in my bio on Instagram at Diane Foster Official, it takes you right to the store. You'll see there's a store button and you can go there and buy it right on Amazon. It'll be right at your doorstep. And then the same thing if you go to Wally Bird Productions at Wally Bird Productions, there's a store there. We have some exciting things. We had for a while when the film first came out, we had a vinyl record. That we had for a while. We're going to actually put that out again, the vinyl record with all the songs from the film, which is really exciting. It's a really fun soundtrack, lots of great music, including Honey Bunny that I sing. And we'll have that again for people to buy as well. And again, it'll just be, on Instagram. You can go there and connect right via the link in my bio. So,
See, I'm a very physical, like I love buying physical media
yeah,
because, like, I say this to every guest I have on because I always have a big rant about it. So I'm going to tell you the same thing.
I love
So,
it.
so for me, I miss going to like video stores like Blockbusters. When Blockbusters went down,
I know.
nah, no. So,
I
so,
agree. I agree.
so I love collecting like VHS. I'm a big VHS guy. So when video shops and Blockbusters went bust, I've always wanted to make my own mini Blockbusters. But when I
Yeah.
looked online and stuff, like people selling like the old VHS rack, and you know where it goes down like that, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, I
But
do.
but people charge like hundreds of pounds for them, and I'm like, I don't want to buy that for what I actually want it for. So
Exactly.
when stuff like that like happens, my brain gets ticking over. Like, well, if I want something, like I have to like think of a way to make it happen. So I went on Amazon and I found for £40 an 8 tier metal shoe rack.
Ah.
So and then I just like put all my VHS on each.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a really great idea. I love that. And I think it's very cool to have collector's items because that's the thing. Physical media is always going to be here. We never know when streaming, like now it's like constantly changing. It's like Netflix might
Yeah,
not even be here in 5 years. Like seriously, we don't know. So I agree with you. I'm a very big proponent of physical media and I always want to make sure that my projects have the ability to have physical media so that people
mm,
can have access to them and to have them forever.
yeah.
Yeah, I really love that and I think it's important and I think it's a huge market for a lot of filmmakers that they don't even realize like yeah, you could sell your movie that way and people will buy it. you
See,
know?
see, that's the one thing I always agree with because obviously, like everyone has a go at me because I still buy VHS and I buy DVDs. I've only just came on to buying Blu-ray, so you know.
Yeah.
but but I'm like, yeah, you can laugh all you want at me, but once your internet goes down, you're knackered.
You don't have it again. That's the thing.
Exactly. Like they're constantly like taking it off, putting it back on. If you just buy it, it's there. You can just watch it whenever you want. Like,
Yeah, it's yours forever.
yes. But when I mentioned blockbusters earlier, like I said, I always want my blockbuster. So I made my full rack and put on my VHS. I was like, I want to take this a bit further. So I went to my local library and I found like I went online and stuff, and I found out you can download the Blockbusters logo,
Oh.
and so I downloaded that, printed it off, laminated it, put it on, and then I found out I was like, no, we're going further than that. So I found out you could download the slipcase rental covers. So I downloaded them,
Um,
put them in a couple of blank VHS cases. So I've got my own of them, and
wow.
I was like, let's go even further. So then I found out you can download the membership cards.
I didn't know that.
So just Google it, and then you can like all the little bits are on there, and like every weekend now it's like a membership of one, and
Yeah.
I rent a VHS every weekend.
That's so fun. I love that. I went to the actual Blockbuster store. There is one in
The last
Bend,
one,
Oregon. Yeah. There
I've
is
always
I
wanted to go there.
It's
I'll never get
awesome.
there, but I'll.
It's awesome. I'll have to send you some pictures from it. I went with my sister and it's so much fun. I was like, oh my God, this brings back so many memories because that's what I used to do. Friday nights, that was like, I'm going to Blockbuster. I got my movies for the weekend. It's a time and a place that I think was a much simpler time and
Yeah,
place. And I think we enjoyed things differently then. And I really do hope that we can get back to that in the idea that the simplicity of watching films really brings people the joy that they are looking for as opposed to sort of what it's become
yeah,
because now it's just there's so much and it's sort of hard to kind of find the things that you like with all of the stuff that's out now and a lot of the stuff is just they just do it so the big corporations can make money. And I think getting back to the idea where filmmakers were really making their films and putting it out to the public is really what I would love to see happen moving forward. I know that we're going, technological and AI is becoming a thing. And I think we have to embrace that in a way. I think we have to say, how can we make it work for us and still allow people to have a really great experience by watching films? Because really why we make them is because we want to take people away for an hour and a half to another place and time that they may never even knew existed or never will ever be able to visit in their entire life, but you take them there for an hour and a half. And I think that's the joy of making films and why it's so important that we do it and that we continue to do it. So I'm all for physical media and I'm all for trying to make this next generation love movies the way that we did, because I think I think we did love them in a way that is different than people love them now. And I'd love to see that happen. I really do.
Yeah, like I said there, I'll after the stream and everything, I'll send you the full picture of my full blockbuster stand, like all in.
Okay. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, and I'll show you my full collection because I've got like a full like a full shot in my garage.
Wow.
But like in the summer, I have like a VHS TV combo. So
Okay.
like when it's like red hot in the summer, I just go sit out in my garage, pull a VHS out, and just sit there and just just watch it there and then.
That's awesome. So I know what you're going to be watching then on Easter. You have to watch Easter Bloody Easter.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah, I'll watch it. I might not show the little one, but I'll watch it.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Just wait a little bit. It's really funny. A lot of parents, when around their kids like are in their teens, like 13, 14, I get a lot of people with their kids that age saying like, I watched it with my, son or daughter, and we laughed so much, we loved it so much, and that really means a lot to me. And the great thing now is that we're starting to have an international fan base because the movie's going to be out in Japan. We're out now in Germany, Latin America, UK, and where else are we? Australia, New Zealand. We're coming out in a bunch of different places. So it's great when I hear from people when they've seen it, especially when it's in a different country. It really means a lot that they love it so much. Someone from Ireland recently got to me and he said, I truly believe this will be a cult film someday. And I just love it. And I had such a good time. He said, I had such a good time watching this. It's one of the best times I've had in the last couple of years watching a horror film. So that means a lot. I love hearing from people. So, if you're out there and you want to get in touch, please reach out to me. I love to hear from you, especially if you love what we do. That means a lot,
Like you were saying there about like showing kids like in the teens. I mean, I know I probably shouldn't. I'll probably get in trouble for this, but like my son's 8 now. But like when he was like 6 and 5, I was showing him like the endings of Jaws and Highlander and Mortal Kombat, which I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, yeah, those are pretty intense.
But yeah, I mean, for me, Jaws is like top tier shark. Like that's my favorite shark film.
So good. It's the best. Oh, it's
Yeah,
the
like
best.
no matter how many times I've watched it, if it's ever on the telly, I'm like,
Yep.
oh, go on then, I'll watch it again, and not get bored of it as well. That's
I know. That's amazing. I love that. I love that. That's the power of filmmaking. It really is. I love that movie too. Great, great film. But no, I think he'll be able to watch it soon. I don't want to get you in trouble either.
Sorry, you won't watch it. Right, going on to horror cons, like what does it mean to you meeting the fans, wanting them to sign things, get pictures, everything?
It's just the absolute best. I love it so much. I've met some over the years and I definitely want to do it again. And I definitely encourage people if, you want me to come to a horror con, please reach out to the horror convention and let them know that you want me there. Because that's a lot of times how, they'll bring people as people are asking for it. So I love it. I love meeting people. Before we put out Easter Bloody Easter, I went to HorrorCon in Los Angeles, and that was really fun because the movie hadn't come out yet, but I had the jackalope head with me, and people were like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to see this. This is so fun." And now I've heard from those people after, and it's just been just an amazing experience, doing it, being there, being with people, getting to hug them in person, having them say like, I love the movies that you make. And yeah, it's just really fun getting to take pictures with them, and also learning about them a little bit. I love finding out, why are people interested in the film that I made, or how did they find out about it, or they'll tell me about how they got into watching, films and horror films and whatever. So it's just a nice camaraderie. And I think I think we're all in this together, and it just makes me happy to meet people and know that, they love the stuff that I'm making. That really means a lot, especially when they come and tell me. I'm like, that's that's the best thing ever. That's the best compliment I could ever get, is someone, to meet me at a horror convention or something and to say, like, I really love the stuff that you make and that you're in. It's a big deal. Yeah.
See, for me, like, obviously doing interviews and like interviewing yourself, like, I don't do it for the money or the fame or anything like that. I always, since I ever
Yeah.
started doing this channel, I mean, I'm not even in the YouTube program yet. Like, and my channel's hit like 4.5 million views, and
Wow.
I'm nearly 10,000 subscribers, and I'm still not even in the program, which is, like, mind boggles me, because like, I've
I
got such
know,
a,
it's crazy.
yeah, the limits that you have to hit, like, each year, otherwise it resets. It just, I can never reach that. So it does, it does annoy me a little bit. But I've always said I'm not. It's never really bothered me. But like, ever since I started doing this channel, I've always said if I can hit at least 100 views a video, then I'm happy.
Yeah, that's
Like,
amazing.
I'm not bothered. Like, I'm not. If it went into the thousands, then I'd be over the moon.
You'd be dancing.
Yeah, like, but yeah, I've always said, like, if I can hit 100 views, then that's it. I'll be happy out. Then I can move on to the next one, and
Yeah.
so
Look,
on.
you got to believe in yourself, and you got to just keep doing it. Anybody that's done anything in any business, the reason they're successful is they just did it and they kept staying with it. That's the thing. As long as you love it and it's something that you love doing, then just stick with it, and eventually those numbers will continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. And it sounds like you do it because you love it. And that's the same reason I make movies. I don't do it because I'm like, oh, I'm just going to be this rich person. Believe me, independent filmmaking does not make you rich. uh, but I do it because I love it, and it's because there's nothing else that I can do. I've been made to do this. So that's why I do it, and I love it so much, and I'm going to continue to do it because I feel like that is my mission, and it's part of why I'm here. So as long as you're doing things for the right reasons, I think that it always works out for you. It really does.
Yeah, like, just talking of horror cons, there, I went to a horror con in Manchester called For the Love of Horror. It's like the biggest one I've ever been to. It was like my first. I go to Comic Cons, like little ones and everything else, but that one, like that full weekend, was
Yeah.
the biggest one I've ever been. And it was all the biggest people that were there. It was all screencast, like the original
Oh, cool.
screencast.
Yeah.
In Halloween, and Linda Blair and Nick Castle and all that were there. So like,
So
obviously
cool.
I went down and I got loads of stuff signed. But I made, like, for my channel, I made like 2 days worth of videos, and I wasn't expecting it to go as mint as it did, because the first day I got Nick Castle to do an intro for me,
Wow.
and then as I was doing my ending, the Tony Capello from the Lost Boys, who does the saxophone, he was
Yeah.
practicing that song before he did the concert, so he played me out on that first day.
Wow.
And
That
then
is so cool.
on the second day, I got Jamie Kennedy to do an intro for me as well. So I was
Yeah.
like, I was buzzing, like, both days. I mean, I met loads of celebrities like over both days, but like,
Oh,
just
I
to
love
get
it.
them intros and the ending, I was like, it just made the videos like what the way.
Oh, good for you. I love that. I would love to go for Love of Horror. That sounds fabulous. I've actually never been to the UK, but interestingly enough, we have a lot of fans of Easter Bloody Easter there, because I think people in the UK love to see, like, like American cowboys, like, die.
Yeah,
Like in a horror film. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I just think they love it. I don't know. I think it's because it's such like a different, maybe because you guys don't have like cowboys there or whatever,
yeah.
that it's people really enjoy it. So that makes me happy, because I think it's just a testament to, how people all over the world can enjoy something that you've done. So
Right. Finally, we're on our last question. I won't keep it much longer, because I know we've been talking way over an hour. So I didn't think it was going to go on this long, but it has.
Oh, I'm a talker.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine by me. Finally, right, after producing, acting, directing, promoting, everything, do you ever just get time to chill?
That's a really great question. It's really funny. Yes, I definitely get time to chill. I think that I'm someone that I love what I do so much that it doesn't ever really feel like, oh my gosh, I'm like working so much. Of course, there's times when I'm just exhausted. I've been on set for 14 hours, all week long, and I'm just like, I just want to be done with this. But I do take time, a lot of times I'll do a project and the project will be, ongoing for, let's say, a couple of years. And then I will take some time in between projects to really, not be in production on something else where I'm just promoting the projects that we've already done. But I would say that it is pretty much an ongoing thing. I think with the advent of social media, I think with everything that's going on in the world, I think it's really hard to actually sit back and just go like, oh, I'm not going to do anything. It's just not the way the world is anymore. I feel like it's kind of like you have to be kind of ahead of it. You kind of have to be continuing to do it. So I also want to make sure, of course, that I take self-care and I take care of myself, because I'm no good to anybody if I'm not taking care of myself. So I definitely do chill, and I make sure that I take that time, even if it's a 1 or 2 days off a week. But you'll find me the majority of the time where I am, I'm either working on a project, I'm talking to people about making another project, I'm filming, I'm in the edit room, like I'm constantly doing something. Today I'm going to do a location scout for something that I'm filming for a film I just made that we're shooting a couple of last days of stuff. So, there's always something going on, but I think at the end of the day, if you love what you do, then you don't ever really feel like you're really working, right? So it's hard work, certainly. It really is. It's not glamorous by any means. The only filmmaking things that are glamorous is when you get to get dressed up, go on the red carpet, go to a screening of your film, meet everybody. That's really glamorous and that's really fun. But the majority of it is really hard work, and it's ongoing hard work. And you just have to be willing to do that if this is what you want to do with your life. Don't get into this because you think it's going to be a cakewalk or you're going to be famous within the first week. No, it doesn't work like that. It's like you got to keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, keep really good relationships, show up and be a great, talented, creative person, but also be a good person, be a kind person. And I think you'll go a really, really long way in anything that you decide to do. So.
And that is it. That comes to the end of our interview.
I love it. Let's go.
Look, a massive thank you for coming on and just shooting the breeze, talking about Easter Bloody Easter, your full career, listening to me rabbit on about other things.
Thank you so much for having me. This was really lovely. It was very nice getting to meet you and getting to know a little bit about you as well. And I'm just excited to keep talking to you as your channel grows and I keep making films, and we'll be back here again talking about other films. I know it.
Yeah, if you ever want to come back on, you are more than welcome to promote whatever you want. So
thanks so much. It means a lot. And thanks to your audience as well for watching. I appreciate all of them for listening in and watching, and certainly to all of my fans who support me and all my followers. I appreciate you guys so much. I couldn't do what I do without you. You are the backbone of it all. So thank you for supporting me, and let's keep making dope movies.
Feel free to share this with whoever you want. By all means, just send it out to every fan you've got below my channel.
Heck yeah, I love it. Let's do that.
But no, right, that brings us to the end of our interview. I would like to thank the amazing Diane Foster for coming on and talking about a full career, Easter Bloody Easter, and everything else. As always, I'm Antwood Movie Mania. Please leave your likes, your comments, please subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. See you later.